So, let's talk about this thing that we call passion. And specifically, what if you don't have any? I can't tell you how many times I've talked to someone who really badly wants to do something, but they don't really know what that something is. And then when we dig down into it, eventually they say something like, yeah, I don't know what my passion is. They almost always sound guilty or sad or ashamed to even speak these words. And I think the reason for this is basically because as soon as you're old enough to enter social media, you are bombarded with ads that claim to help you pursue your passion or create your passion or to turn your passion into a business. And they try and frame it from this perspective of everyone's got a passion, what is yours? Whether your passion is fitness or art or building or coding or dance or fashion or cooking, whatever it is, if you buy our services, we will help take yours to the next level. But the problem with this is not everyone has a passion. And when you tell people who are just normal people living normal life that they should have a passion, then they feel guilty that they don't. And it's important to understand and clarify the meaning of the word passion here. So the definition is a strong and barely controllable emotion. And I think that basically lines up with what most people imagine. But when you go by that definition, I honestly just don't think that most people wake up every day and have this near uncontrollable urge to do something specific. In reality, I think there's very little difference between passion and obsession. And I say this because as someone who has a passion, I can tell you, I don't really think you're missing out. And in fact, I think you're very lucky. And in many ways, I actually envy you. See, my passion was always very clear from a young age. But I honestly believe that my life probably would have been much easier if I didn't have it. See, the problem with passion is it's basically uncontrollable. You can't turn it off. You're always thinking about it, and you're never in the moment. When you have a passion, it feels like an obligation. You feel guilty when you're not doing it, or you get depressed when you can't do it. It's difficult to enjoy basic events like dinners or parties or road trips because mentally you're not really there. You're just thinking about your passion the whole trip, just waiting for it to be over so that you can go back to your computer and continue working on it. And if I'm being completely honest, my passion has caused me to pass up multiple life-changing opportunities that, looking back, I really should have taken. But I rejected them because I wanted to, quote-unquote, follow my dreams. And it cost me. It cost me a lot. Specifically, it cost me all the best years of my life pursuing my passion. And don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for how things turned out. And I learned a lot, which I really enjoy sharing with you guys here. But passion is not what you think it is. People think it's like built-in motivation, but it's really more like built-in obligation. And if you don't have it, that's okay. In fact, it probably just means you're a normal, healthy, functioning person. And it means that you are free to do whatever you feel like doing without feeling guilty that you're not doing something else. You can have dinner with your girlfriend and be completely in the moment where you should be, having good food in good company. And when incredible opportunities and jobs present themselves to you, you don't have to hesitate to take it. You can accept them without feeling torn between being successful or following your dreams. Now, I want to end with a real-world example of one of my friends. For this video, we'll just call him Jay. Now, growing up with Jay was really fun because he was the opposite of me. Jay, unlike me, had zero passion for anything. He constantly wondered when he was going to wake up and feel the uncontrollable urge to do something. But in the meanwhile, he kind of just did whatever was best for him. He studied because he figured good grades were useful, and because he got good grades, he got into a good college. And because he didn't have a passion for anything, he just picked a major that he thought would at least enable him to live comfortably. And so he became an electrical engineer. And he got a good job where he now programs missiles for the military. Now, mind you, he still has no passion. And he's kind of given up on ever finding it. Now, he doesn't hate his job, but he's not passionate about it either. And because he's not really passionate about anything, he actually doesn't have anything he wants to buy. He literally said the words, "Yeah, I guess I'll just save money because I don't really have anything else to do." Like, this is actually his mentality. He's got no clue what he wants to do at all. So he just ends up saving shitloads of money, and he has calculated that if he just does this for 10 years, he'll eventually be a millionaire and then maybe he'll have something he wants to do. So in the meanwhile, he literally just gets off work, he saves money, and he plays his favorite video games with his best friends with his spare time. And I'm like, dude, that's not a bad shtick. In fact, that's probably one of the best shticks you can have. And I look at Jay, from my perspective, who's still struggling to pay off student loans from years ago, and I'm thinking, why the fuck did I have to want to be a game developer? If I didn't want to be a game developer, I could have just picked a job that paid well and not worry about anything for the rest of my life. Like, honestly, if I could turn back time, I would have just been a doctor. And then, with all the money, pay other people to make my game for me. That would have been the smart move. And knowing that I could have done that if I took that road back in high school is kind of soul-crushing right now because now I'm stuck with my passion, you know? So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't know what your passion is, or you don't have one, it's okay. Maybe one day you'll wake up and you'll know exactly what you want to do. But if you don't, just know you don't need a passion for your life to be meaningful. And you don't need a passion to have meaningful relationships that are important to you. Just doing honest work for honest money and spending your spare time on your hobbies and friends is a great life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting that. So, hope that helps. And as always, hope you have a fantastic day. And I'll see you around.